Hello, everybody. Okay, so for the next topic we're going to do in science is called changing environments. And what we mean by that is how the environments for the dinosaurs changed over time and how that led to climate change and new animals forming and landscape changing of the landscape of the earth changing. Okay, so we're on page 472. It says changing environments. Okay. So we know you can use fossils to tell how old a rock layer is and how a landmass may have moved. What else can you learn from fossils? Fossils provide clues about changing environments too. Okay? So, finding fossils of trees in the middle of some grasslands would lead you to conclude that the land has changed. Finding a fossil of a fossil sea snail at the top of a mountain would cause you to conclude the environment has changed because the sea snail lives in the sea. So if you find it at the top of the mountain, then you know that it must have been at some point underwater. Okay. The fossil record is an area like a history book, telling you about the changes the environment and in that area has undergone. Suppose you find a fossil seashell in the rocks in your local park. Does this tell you about the environment that once was there? Okay, so if your local park is like a grassland, most parks are flat and grassy. That should tell you that at one point it was ocean. Okay, a seashell comes from the ocean, so it was once a beach area or an ocean area. Okay. 473 talks about the La Brea tar pits, the famous La Brea tar pits, and it shows you on the opposite page in 472 what it used to look like 40,000 years ago. Okay, they're located in Los Angeles, California, where tar still seeps from the ground. About 40,000 years ago, the area looked like the pictures shown in the area. The area looked like the picture shown on the facing page. You see the woolly mammoth, you see some ancient mammals, okay, there. Scientists have collected fossils of thousands of plants and animals from the pits. Scientists know that those plants lived in a climate only a little wetter and cooler than it is today. In other words, the climate has not changed much in this area over the last 40,000 years. Falls of the Idaho. Okay, so that's this picture right here. It's a state park. Okay, it's called Falls of the Ohio. I'm sorry, not Idaho. Today, the Falls of the Ohio is a state park in Indiana, tucked into a bend of the Ohio River where the land is flat and often dry. The summers are hot and the winters are cold and snowy. But the rocks at the falls of the Ohio State Park tell a different story. The rocks are filled with fossils of coral, clams, and other organisms that lived in the shallow, warm tropical seas. You could see on the map that Indiana is far from the ocean today. These fossils show that the climate in this area has changed a lot over the past 380 million years. So here we have a contrast. The La Brea tar pits over about the past 40,000 years or so, the climate hasn't changed much and the environment hasn't changed much. Okay, the temperature they think was somewhat the same, and then on the flip side, the falls of Ohio, it couldn't be the farther different. It used to be obviously warm tropical seas. And Indiana is nowhere close to an ocean today, okay? So the climate in this area has changed a lot over the past 380 million years, okay? Okay, let's see here. It says on page 474, the great die-offs, okay? When scientists look at the fossil record, they compare fossils to organisms living today. Scientists have discovered that many organisms have become extinct. There are times in Earth's history when great many organisms become extinct all at once. How did this happen? Okay. Sometimes only one species becomes extinct at a time. The passenger pigeon became extinct in 1914. Hunting and loss of habitat are likely causes. At several times during Earth's history, many species became extinct at the same time. These large events caused by climate change are called mass extinctions. Mass, mass, it means big. Okay, so if you have a massive protest or a mass protest, that means you have a lot of people. So mass extinctions mean there's a lot of different types of animals going extinct at the same time. Worldwide volcanic eruptions can cause mass extinctions because these eruptions blow large amounts of ash and dust into the air. So the sunlight's blocked, so then the plants can't grow. Other plants die when ash settles on them and smothers them. If plants die, the animals that eat them also die. Then objects from outer space could also cause mass extinctions. At the end of the Mesozoic, an asteroid crashed into what is now Mexico. The impact sent huge amounts of dust into the air. The dust blocked out the sunlight. Changes in climate occurred that were similar to those caused by volcanic eruptions. These changes may have caused the extinction of many animals, including the last of the dinosaurs. Okay? So that's the one theory, the meteor theory, that it hit, and they have the actual picture of a huge meteor hitting in Mexico. Okay? So, summarizing mass extinctions. Let's see here. It says fill in the chart to explain some of the causes of mass extinctions. Okay, so volcanic eruption, the effect of volcanic eruption is blows large amounts of ash and dust into the air. Okay, so we could write that. Where's my pen? Blows ash and dust into the air. This is a tight fit, but you should be able, if you write small enough, you should be able to fit it all. Blows, I can't read my handwriting backwards. Blows ash and dust into the air, okay? So blows ash and dust into the air, okay? And then the result of that is the sunlight's blocked. Sunlight blocked. Plants can't grow. Animals die. Okay? So the sunlight's blocked because all this ash is spewing up into the air. And then, therefore, plants need sunlight to grow. And then those animals that eat the plants, they die. Okay? Okay, so we have a flooding. Okay? Let's see here. Okay, so the cause of flooding would be global warming, I would think. Okay? Right now. Okay, so the cause is global warming. We're polluting our air, so we see more flooding. It's melting the polar ice caps. And then the result, unfortunately, actually has a lot to do with humans are very affected by flooding. Destroys houses, destroys land, buildings, and homes. Okay? It destroys land, buildings, and homes. Okay? No rain, that produces a drought, which is the opposite of flooding. There's no water. There's not enough water, okay? You don't want that either. That could cause the crops to die. And there's no food for people and animals alike to eat. Okay? So the crops, it causes the crops to die. No food for people and animals to eat. Okay? Dust and ash into the air. We're going to go with the meteor striking, okay? That's going to be the cause. Meteor hits the earth, okay? Hits earth. Okay, so a meteor hits earth, and then unfortunately dust and ash goes into the air, and that drastically changes the climate. Blocks the sun. Climate gets a lot colder. This is where we say the ice age starts, okay? So it blocks the sun, therefore the climate gets a lot colder, okay? And then